Hello, Charlie. Thank you for agreeing to sit down and have this interview with us. We have a ton of people that have been dying to hear from you.
Well,
I love the work you do as well. It's
thank
very
you. I
important. Yeah, I've been
appreciate it.
watching you for years. So
Really, I had no idea that you were such a big fan. Thank you. I haven't watched much of you, but thank you. I'm not going to waste any time. First question. It's something that everyone wants to know about. We understand that life isn't easy for everyday Americans right now. And the job of our elected officials is to do what's in the best interest for their constituents. With that being said, can you tell me what you recommend that Donald Trump does to improve the quality of life for everyone and help provide services and things that everyday Americans are absolutely ready for?
A huge housing crisis in our country, the likes of which we have not seen in a long period of time. But I believe that we need to build horizontally, not vertically. It's one of my speeches. Developers don't like it when I say this, but it's true. The higher the building, the more liberal the voter. It just is. So, and if you are, the closer to the ground you are, the more conservative you are. We should encourage people to spread horizontally and not vertically.
Okay, I guess building upwards makes people liberals. I'm assuming that's how you want to address the housing crisis. Okay, look, Charlie, I'm sorry. I actually have someone here that can help you with this. Now, I know it's someone that you don't particularly care for, but it's my good friend Parker. Parker, can you please help Charlie answer this question? What are the things that everyday Americans are ready for?
I think Americans are ready for a universal healthcare program, a universal childcare program, housing affordability. I think they're ready to expand access to educational resources. And when Donald Trump and Elon Musk talked about Doge and waste spending, what they weren't talking about was cutting the military budget. What they weren't talking about was looking at the waste from the defense contractors that they're constantly spending on wars and endless wars, and they're not spending here on the American people, that we could be spending on helping out our homeless veterans. We could be helping out everyone in this country who's homeless, over 800,000 people in this country. That should not exist in the richest country in the history of the world, and that's what I think America's ready for.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much for that, Parker. You were absolutely spot on. Charlie, you get it now? Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, Charlie, let's move on to the next question. The next question is, we understand that abortions are healthcare, and it's something that's not only important to everyone, but it's something that women deserve. Charlie, why do you think it's so important that we address this and fight for women to have the right to bodily autonomy?
Of all the communities in America, who's the community that supports abortion the most favorably? It is white women are the core. Abortion is the sacrament of the secular religion of leftism. For them, abortion is everything. It is the Eucharist for them. That's where the trends are heading, said Greg Strimple, a Republican pollster. That's what I think is happening, in large part because women, including white women, are animated by the loss of abortion rights. Okay, silly way to put it. You don't have abortion rights, but we're not going to get into that.
Oh, you, okay. You know what, Charlie? That one was on me. I shouldn't have even given you that question. I'm sorry. You're right. Listen, men don't necessarily, we shouldn't necessarily speak on that topic. I don't worry, I have more help for you. I have my friend Becca here. Becca Day. Becca, can you please tell Charlie, why is abortion, the right to bodily autonomy, why is that so important to women, and why should they actually have it?
Very plainly, not allowing a woman the right to choose and then laying that decision in the hands of a state statistically causes a higher maternal mortality rate, because data and history can show us that even in states or countries where abortion is extremely restricted, abortions still happen, they just don't happen safely. We can look at the numbers since Roe fell and see that the maternal mortality rate has risen in the United States, higher than all other wealthy nations. There's many reasons why women are dying at a higher rate since the falling of Roe, but primarily it's because they are not given access to required health care that they need and deserve. Because when we lay down ironclad abortion laws and put very, very harsh punishments on doctors and women seeking abortions or even care for miscarriages, we have in theory placed a congressman in our exam room, standing in between us and our doctor like a wall. And that doctor, who went to medical school, has to ask that congressman, in theory, permission to terminate a pregnancy or help a woman complete a miscarriage, even if her life is hanging in the balance. And that's not a scary hypothetical. Nevaeh Crane would quite literally be celebrating her 21st birthday if it wasn't for Texas's abortion laws that quite literally sentenced her to a slow and painful death. And what was her crime? Having a miscarriage. Nevaeh isn't alone. Amber Thurman, Jocelyn Barnica were all allowed to pass away from sepsis because the state laws made doctors too afraid to do their job. And their job in that moment was to save those women's lives. But the theoretical congressman in the exam room wouldn't allow it. These women's lives matter more than anyone's moral hang-up, in my opinion. The pro-life people who throw conniption fits in the Planned Parenthood parking lot every weekend while simultaneously shrugging their shoulders at the lives of these women being lost should really open that Bible that they like to hide behind and read Exodus 21, where it very clearly lays out that the value of a woman's life is more important than the fetus in her stomach.
Becca, you are absolutely amazing, absolutely spot on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Charlie, do you get it now?
Bruh.
Like, do you understand how this is supposed to go? Charlie, I mean, is there anything else that you want to say at this moment?
Now we know that you're like a blatant narcissist that needs attention at all times.
Wait, what, me? I'm the narcissist?
I guess the 31-year-old who runs around to college campuses setting up booths and PA systems for himself would know all about being a narcissist who needs attention on themselves all the time.
You absolutely nailed it. Listen, Charlie, okay. Listen, we have my friend Off the Wagon here, and he's going to actually help you this time. He is going to help guide you through this Q&A. Listen, he will hold your hand because we actually have a fan that wants to propose a question. So Off the Wagon is going to actually help you get this one right. We have your back. So let's hear the question.
So let's talk about the 200 people deported without due process to El Salvador. I don't know if you saw this morning, but a United States citizen was actually deported.
It was not a U.S. citizen. That's not correct.
Liar.
It's not a U.S. citizen. It was actually...
Come on.
No, it was someone that was living here. Well, first of all, it's not a U.S. citizen. He was living here for a while. He was part of MS-13. Answer yes or no.
Okay.
Should members of a terrorist organization be able to stay in the United States after they've murdered and gone after American citizens?
Obviously, no.
So we have deported those people back to their country.
But Charlie, like a broken clock and shit, for once you're right, he was not a U.S. citizen. He was, however, a legal U.S. resident the Trump administration admitted they deported by mistake. But that's where you being right stopped, because he was not a gang member, he was not a terrorist, he was not convicted of any crimes whatsoever. And even if he was, that still doesn't address that teensy tiny little thing you deflected away from at the beginning of the argument. He was denied his constitutional right to due process. You know who demonizes minority groups and justifies denying people's rights to due process? Fucking fascists. We see you, Charlie.
Darn it, Charlie. Okay, Off the Wagon, thank you so much for doing that. I'm so happy that you were here to actually guide and fix Charlie's answers. I'm not sure. Anyway, listen, Charlie, thank you for trying, I guess. I think that what we need to do is actually continue to battle this misinformation and disinformation that you're assimilating in person, right? I mean, I think the only thing that we can do is myself, Parker, Becca, Off the Wagon, we can all head down to Texas, which we will do on April the 22nd for the UnFuck America Tour, and we will see Charlie in person. Not only will we see Charlie in person, but we're going to be there to push back on Charlie Kirk, push back on Turning Point USA, push back on the rhetoric of the right, and to correct everything that you guys just saw and everything that they're trying to actually push out. Guys, we can do it together, and we will unfuck America. And if you can't be there, then you can always support. Check out the link in my bio. It's the first link in my bio, and you can actually donate and support. Listen, Charlie tried his best, but his best isn't good enough. We will be better. We will see you on the UnFuck America Tour on April the 22nd. Love you guys. Peace.